All right, grand rising, grand arrival, grand return. Peace and blessings to the righteous and the repentant alike. I am Cleopadra Sophia the Bodhi, and this is a very, hopefully quick video, but quite important because we have to discuss Abraham, okay? Let me get this out of the way. And it's a placeholder because I'm sure I'm going to have to do like an actual research video because I know how people are. They see the title, my subject, they come to my channel and they want to make comments without even investigating what I'm saying. So this is for sure going to have to end up being another video, a longer video, whatever, okay? We have a problem with Abraham. I mentioned this a few weeks ago, but I'm going to go into detail. When Abraham makes his covenant with the creator of all things, okay? The creator. He makes a covenant with the creator and he accepts the covenant. Immediately after he makes a covenant with the creator, he literally makes a covenant with another God, a small g God. This is a God with the spirit of lying. Okay, because what happens immediately after he makes this covenant with the creator tells him, go to another land, like keep moving on. He is with Sarai. She ain't Sarah yet, she's Sarai. And this is Abram, okay? This is why they be changing their names. Not me, I changed my name because I evolved. They're changing their names to run from contracts, okay? So Abram and Sarai are moving to wherever they need to go next, okay? And before they get into Egypt or wherever it is, Abram tells Sarai, listen, you're very beautiful and I don't want to lose my life for that. So when we get to this city, right, you're going to have to tell them that we're brother and sister. I'm going to tell them you are my sister and I'm going to preserve my life. Sarai doesn't object, doesn't refuse to go along with this stupid ass idea that Abram has. And so they get to the place and what happens? An angel harasses the king because of course Sarai is beautiful. So he takes Sarai, he compensates Abram, right? And the angel harasses this king all night. And in the morning, he's like, goes back to Abram and says, hey, man, why you ain't tell me this was your sister? He's like, well, I thought if I told you, you was going to kill me. Listen, you should have told me the truth, okay? Don't be in here lying to me. What happens? He says, okay, take you and all your servants and all your people and get the hell out of my kingdom, okay? Sends them with as much material things as he can to get him out of his kingdom. Abram said, you know what? That worked for me. Let me do it again. 3 times he does this. Now, if this is the father of all nations, many nations, right? He's a liar. In one of those interactions with those kings, he ends up with Hagar. The king gives Abram his daughter. Now, what should Abram have done? Abram should have said, hell no, I am not taking another human as my slave. But what did that spirit say? Hell yeah, I am taking that fine young thing to be my slave. Now I got Sarah, she hot. I got this one, she hot. Yeah, I'm the man around here. That's what Abram did. So now here this spirit comes on Sarai and she's like, I'm too old to have kids. Maybe I'm supposed to have a child through this maidservant. So she says to Hagar, listen, put on your big girl pants and go in there and do the deed with Abram until you get pregnant. When you have a boy, again, this is important. In order to have a boy, you have to engage in intercourse multiple times. It's one time for a girl. It's multiple times for a boy, period. And so she makes Hagar do this over and over again until a male child is produced. You get a male child, and then I ain't never see these birds over here. Okay, you get a male child, and then what happens? Hagar births a child. Sarai takes that baby. It's like, okay, this is my baby. Lying. Confirming a lie, right? Confirming a lie. You have to confirm reality. Here's Sarai confirming a lie. Like, yep, that's my baby. I got to raise this baby as my own baby, and maybe I will get the blessing this way. Wrong. Wrong. So what happens? The Creator comes back to see how Abram is doing because he went to do something else. He comes back. This nigga Abram has fucked everything up. Totally effed up. So he's like, okay. Y'all ruined those names because every name is a name of the Creator. He says, okay, y'all ruined those names. Let me give you new names. Now we're going to call you Abraham and we're going to call you Sarah, okay? Sarah gets pregnant, realizes all of this wickedness. Like, oh my gosh, this is all wrong. Why did I do this? And tells Abraham he has to make Hagar leave. Okay? Hagar is sent away with her son. Why? Because of all of the wickedness of forcing Hagar to have intercourse with old as Abram, to have this child that she goes on to raise as her own, but then she gets pregnant and is like, no, this is not right. Like, this has been a grave mistake. And the easiest way to solve this problem is to send her home to her father. Again, with her dowry intact. Send her home to her father with her dowry intact. That was the right thing to do. Correct. Sarah redeems herself. Correct. Send her home to her father. She was a princess in the land that she come from. Send her back home to her father. That's the right thing to do. So, but Ham, still wicked because he knew they was doing all kinds of wickedness in Sodom and Gomorrah. Did he try to stop Lot from going there? Did he say, you know what? I can handle this wickedness better than you. I'm going to go this way. You go that way. Did he tell Lot, hey, wherever you go, don't go to Sodom and Gomorrah. That's a wicked. No. He let his own nephew go to a place that was so wicked that there was no way he could escape. Why? Because I already told y'all, Lot was a scumbag too. He learned it from his uncle and his daddy. They was both scumbags. His daddy was an idol worshiper, so not quite as the same type of scumbag as Abraham was, but a scumbag nonetheless. And so, we already know the story a lot, but let's go back to Abraham. So, you have Abraham who has birthed now these two children. He has to give, what's the name, a blessing? Ishmael. Got to give Ishmael a blessing, and now he has his son Isaac. What's wrong with his son? His son got autism. His son is not a fully functioning person. And thank God, because Abraham was so wicked. If he had had a fully functioning child, the child would have been the Antichrist, honestly. He would have destroyed this whole planet. So, in the Creator's great wisdom, he gave Isaac some kind of a mental problem, which Jacob also had, some kind of a mental problem, severe mental issues. Okay? So, which is not bad. It's necessary to prevent them from being wicked. Okay? So, now you got Abraham out here. He's got this son. And what does this weird God tell him to do? This lying spirit. No. Kill Jacob, or Isaac, I'm sorry. Kill Isaac, right? So that you can erase this covenant that you made with that other God. This was a battle of the gods. So what does Abraham say? Okay, sound good to me. Listening to you has got me everything I want. I got a lot of land. I got these fine hoes. I got 2 sons now. And yeah, let's cool. Let's do it. He takes poor adult Isaac out into the woods and says, what? All right, get on this altar right here. I'm about to burn you up. Isaac, in his extreme naivete, his childlike wonder, is like, okay, Papa, I'll get up here. Whatever you say, we'll do. So Abraham's getting ready to light the thing on fire. What happens? Here comes a ram from the time of creation out, and Abraham burns that instead of Isaac. Well, that lying spirit, now he's stuck, because that means that the bigger blessing is not going to go to Ishmael and henceforth these Allahites, these worshipers of Muhammad, right? Not going to go to them. It's going to stay with the quote-unquote Jews. So let's move forward to the New Testament. In Luke chapter 16, verse 19, Jesus tells a parable. Now, the context for this parable is the Pharisees are nearby, which are the modern day Jews, obviously. The Pharisees are nearby, and they're trying to challenge him on what it is that he's saying. So what happens? Jesus tells this parable. He says there's a rich man clothed in fine linen and purple, and he eats every day. And then there's a poor man, his name is Lazarus, covered in sores. Now remember, Lazarus is his best friend, okay? But there's a poor man named Lazarus, covered in sores, sitting at the gate of the rich man, just trying to get some crumbs. So the rich man, the poor man, Lazarus, he dies, and he is caught up into Abraham's bosom. This term, Abraham's bosom, is extremely important to the Jews, okay? This is their term, because it signifies being caught into glory, or to heaven, or whatever, like a higher, more positive realm, okay? Like the 21 virgins on the Islam side, I don't know what it is for the Jews, but must be something similar, because they worship the same God, okay? So this man is caught into Abraham's bosom, right? And then the rich man, he dies, and he goes to Hades. They specifically say he ain't getting caught up into Abraham's bosom. He's going straight into Hades, okay? Now, mind you, Hades and Abraham's bosom is the same place, okay? It's the same place. So the rich man cries out to Abraham because he can see Abraham. Now, mind you, how could the man who went to Hades see Abraham in quote-unquote heaven? No, they were beside each other. Abraham's bosom is here. Abraham's bosom is here. Hades is here. They're beside each other, okay? So the rich man cries out to Abraham, let that man Lazarus come and dip his finger in the water to quench my thirst. And what does Abraham say? Nah, you live your good life when you was living. Now he gonna live his good life now. Does this not sound like the 21 virgins? Okay, I'm going to keep going. So the rich man is like, well, if you won't come in and quench my thirst, I need you to go and warn my family of, I don't want my brothers to endure this. And what does Abraham say? Nah, because your brothers have Moses. Now, mind you, if we're talking about Abraham's bosom, right? Is Moses not in the same place? Like, I'm confused. But he says, no, your family members have Moses, right? They have Moses and the prophets to tell them, how to live a good life. And even if a dead person was to rise, it would not convert anyone. This is what Abraham tells this rich man. Now, think about this story. Now, Jesus is telling this story, right? Jesus came to fulfill all the prophecies, past, present, and future. This means that if you're looking for the fulfillment of a prophecy, you have to look in Jesus' words. Now, you might have to parse out a single word to get the fulfillment of the prophecy, but guess what? You could parse that one word out and it's going to fulfill the prophecy. Okay? Jesus uses Abraham because these Jews believe Abraham's bosom was heaven. Okay? Just like in heaven you get the 21 virgins, somehow Abraham's bosom, which sounds gay to me, was heaven. And so he specifically uses that term to make the point. Also, like I mentioned, Lazarus was his best friend, and he was a master magician. He was Merlin in other pantheons. So he was a magician. So what Jesus is saying is that Lazarus, as Merlin, gets called into Abraham's bosom, which is this gay heaven, okay? This is the heaven all of the Pharisees and the Sadducees want to go to. Because they all want to be like Lazarus. But they can't be like Lazarus because Lazarus is doing acceptable magic. And these Pharisees and Sadducees and these Jews do unacceptable magic. That's obvious. They could never be Merlin. It could never be Lazarus. So, in saying this, Jesus is mocking them. Number one, you could never be Lazarus. Number two, you could never be Merlin. Number three, you could never go to Abraham's bosom. That's what he's saying. You're going to Hades. Specifically Hades. Why use that term and not other terms? Because it's referring to Hades as in the individual Hades, in the pantheon, in the Greek pantheon. So he's making a very clear connection to the Greek pantheon. So in this parable, Jesus has Abraham lying. What are the lies? The lies are that one thing that Abraham said to this rich man was that he enjoyed his riches on earth and therefore he could not have riches in the afterlife. That's a lie. That's a lie. Because you can't buy your way into heaven. If you can't buy your way into heaven, then does it matter how much riches you have on earth? Because you can't buy your way in. You have to be justified by faith. There's no cost. Freely I have given, freely I will give. It's free. So that's the first lie Abraham gives. The second lie is we're separated. So nobody on your side can come to my side, and nobody on my side can go to your side. That's a lie. That's a lie. If we're separated by a chasm, you build a bridge. You have the Rainbow Bridge. You have all kinds of bridges. You build a bridge. If you are too far away from someone else, you build a bridge. So that's the second lie. What's the third lie? The third lie is that a dead person who has risen from the dead cannot convert people to being righteous. What is Christianity? Is that not a risen Savior being used to convert people away from their wickedness? Jesus knew he was going to die or give up the ghost on the cross. He knew exactly what was going to happen. He knew exactly the game plan. He knew when he gave that parable what his end would be. It's in his chart. He knew. So why would he have Abraham tell these three lies? Number one, Abraham is not to be trusted. Therefore, Abrahamic religions are not to be trusted. What is this? Islam, Hebrewism, and Judaism are Abraham-based religions. Not to be trusted. Not to be trusted. That's one. Number two, he was specifically calling out to these people who have all this money and refuse to help people. So if you read that, you just think, oh, well, if I have a lot of money, it's my honor and my duty to help people. That's not what that's saying at all. What it's saying is you can't buy your way into heaven. Whether you have a lot of money or you have no money, that's not how it works. That's not how it works. You can be clothed in fine linen and still go to heaven. You can have nothing and still go to hell. I think if it was me, right? Let's say if I was Lazarus, going to Abraham's bosom would be hell. Matter of fact, that's what my dream. I had a dream about this. In my dream, I talked about it, but I was like, I wasn't going to repeat it. But now I understand what it was. In my dream, I was somewhere where they were having a lot of like gay sex with men on men. And I was just like, why do I have to be here observing this? What is this even about? Like, why do I have to see this? But that is the heaven that these Jews believe that in this story Lazarus went to, and that this rich man was trying to go to. The gay sex heaven. Okay? And that's their heaven. That's literally their heaven. They want to be able to have unlimited gay sex. So, if that's their heaven, Jesus literally, he was making fun. He was mocking them. Literally mocking them. And they didn't even, nobody, I've never heard anybody say any of this. So again, Abraham is not to be trusted. That lying spirit can get on you so fast. This is why you have to tell the truth. Be a truth teller. Don't engage in this lying. Anything you get from lying is what is going to cause you not to be able to make it into heaven or wherever, to have a good life. Heaven is on earth, right? The kingdom is within. So you cannot have the kingdom within you if you're lying, okay? So don't lie. Tell the truth. Tell the truth and shame the devil, because the Abraham should be ashamed of himself. Abraham should be ashamed of himself, right? But he's not shamed. He's not shamed. He was never shamed. Lot should have been ashamed of himself. He wasn't ashamed. He wasn't ashamed of himself. And he should have been. So, let me go ahead and add this part on here. I am researching the Egyptian pantheon. And if we go back to the creation story from the Egyptian pantheon perspective, you have Atum, who is totally complete within himself, okay? And so he has his masculine and feminine parts as one, okay? And so what happens is he sneezes, right? And he creates two deities. One is Shu and one is Tefnut. Shu is the dryness and Tefnut is the moisture, okay? So he sends Shu and Tefnut out to explore the universe, the chaos, which is called none, okay? He sends them out to explore the chaos, which is none. So then the creator, Atum, he gets the feeling that something is wrong. They've been swallowed up by the chaos. And so he feels the very first emotion, which is despair and loneliness, okay? And so what happens? He decides that he is going to send out his light, his eye, right? His eye of Ra, which is literally the mother, the creatrix, okay? He sends her out to find his creations, okay? So this eye goes out into the chaos, and the eye goes out into the chaos, okay? And the eye finds Shu and Tefnut basically almost dead, okay? They're on their last limb because they have succumbed to the chaos. And with her guiding light eye, which I really believe is the ear, but with her guiding eye, she guides them back to the Father, the Creator, okay, Atum. So with them reunited with Atum, the Creator feels the first positive emotion, which is joy, okay? So moving forward in the story, Shu and Tefnut have children, right? The children that they have is Geb and Nut. Geb is the earth, Nut is the sky, the cosmos, really. And so when Geb and Nut are created, they feel passionate love. So they are embracing, right? But their embrace is so tight that no life can be created. And so because no life can be created, humanity cannot exist. And so what happens? Atum asks Shu to use his capacities to separate Nut from Geb perpetually. And so what is that? That's the firmament. That's the space. That's the oxygen that we breathe in and out. So your breathing is very important. To keep the chaos that is the cosmos and the chaos that is the solid reality separate. Okay, the breath does that. So once that is taken care of, then Atum rules for however long he feels like it. Then he's like, okay, it's time to pass on to the next individuals, right? And so he passes on the throne to Shu and Tefnut, okay? So what happens? Shu and Tefnut rule as Atum and Ra did for millennia. That's the golden age that everyone is talking about. Everyone knows that's the golden age. So, but after a while, here comes that lying spirit who tells Shu he doesn't need Tefnut. He doesn't need the moisture in the land. He doesn't need her for anything. He's the air, again, air sign, Geminis, Libras, and what's the last one? Aquarius. He don't need Tefnut. He don't need her. He don't need the moisture because he got it all under control without her. So he starts basically treating her as if she had no part to play in creating the space for humanity to live, moisturizing us, giving us actual literal moisture, water that we can use. So they start fighting, whatever. And so Tefnut leaves. And when she leaves, it creates famine. This is the very first famine in quote-unquote Egypt. So she leaves. She goes to Nubia. Nubia is popping. She brought all the moisture. She brought all the motion with her to Nubia. So Shu, in his great stupidity, cannot figure out how to solve this problem. So who do they go to? They go to Mercury. I can't remember what the Egyptian Mercury is. Is it Thoth, right? Thoth. He goes to Thoth and he's like, listen, I effed up. I need you to get Tefnut to come back. And only magic can solve this problem. So Thoth turns into something else. He goes to Nubia. The difference between Egypt and Nubia is like night and day. Egypt is dried up. The people are dying and crying out for water. It's horrible. Nubia is popping. It's got motion. Everybody is living this exuberant, fruitful, bountiful life with Tefnut. Okay, there. So Hermes or Thoth uses magic and gets Tefnut to return back to Egypt. But it's never the same because again, once you have these kind of fallings out, because they're so unnecessary and could be completely avoided if both partners have respect for each other, you don't have to go through this. But doesn't matter. It's never the same, and it's just never the same. The golden age is basically on its way out at that point. I say all this to say there are 3 types of relationships modeled in this example. There's an example of the creator, Atum, who is completely and totally at one with the creatrix. So much so that if he feels a pain, he can send the creatrix out to produce the solution. That is obviously the highest vibrational relationship we can be. Women are the eye. We're the ears. We can hear the problems before they arrive and whisper, hey, something's going on here. We might want to do something about this. Black men have completely rejected us. They don't want this. They want to be Shu. They want to be our very breath, and that we cannot breathe a breath without them. Okay? And that's fine if that's what they want to be. Not for me, though. I'm not interested in that. I'm interested in my father, Atum, and his relationship with Ra, our mother. Okay? So, what's the third? Okay, let me talk about the second one. The second one is Shu and Tefnut. Shu and Tefnut are perfect until they're not perfect. That is because each party has not become a complete person of themselves. They are relying on their natural strengths and abilities to make the relationship work. And that does work for a long time. But when it stops working, it stops. Because those two individuals have not done the work that they need to do on themselves to make the relationship work forever, to make it last forever. It won't. It can't. Okay? The third relationship is Geb and Nut. Now, this is where all of these people who are engaged in these isolationist practices within their relationships, and also people who are in cults, are engaged in this relationship that's like Geb and Nut. This is, I can't live without this person. I need to be up under this person all day and all night. Even when they take a shit, I need to be right beside them. These are these kind of people. These are people who have been married 10 years and have 7 children. Not giving the woman's body a break. Not giving nothing a break. Just adding more and more stress because of the sex. And all of them are boys. Like, this is these kind of people. This is what you would expect to see. A lot of these trad women who have all of these children, they fall in this category. Because there's nothing wrong with having children. And I'm not saying that there's something wrong with having children. Obviously, I have children. But there's something about having children so close together that you don't get a chance, let your body get a chance to breathe and to restore itself. It's necessary. And we don't see that. Okay? So you have these 3 different stories, these 3 different groups of women, there's 3 different things happening, okay? And men, women and men. And again, if you want to be all up under a man, all up under celebrity, all up under the government, all up under your job, whatever, so devoted, so overwhelmed by your job that you don't even have the opportunity to produce any life outside of that job, any life outside of that relationship, any life outside of those friends, that's fine. Do you, boo? Do you? But it's unacceptable for me. And so I had to say this because if anybody believes that those other relationships are healthy, that's fine. But we're not going to be engaging in that kind of behavior over here on this channel. Everybody has to be in their own full power. So that way, if there's a problem, I could take myself in my own full power and go and solve it. Just like the creator could solve the problem if he needed to. What did he do? He said, Shu, I'm going to need you to keep them separate because they're doing the most. Shu said, okay, Pops, I got you. That's how the relationship is supposed to be. The things the women can do, the women do. The things the men can do, the men do. And everybody's working towards the same goal, which is unity. So, I need to get that out of the way. The last thing is, let's talk about Jacob. Let's talk about Jacob. Jacob had 12 sons and 1 daughter. When Benjamin was born, right, his mother was Rachel. She died during childbirth. When she died during childbirth, who took care of Benjamin? Was it any of the other 3 crazy women he had children with? I doubt it. I don't think so. So it's my belief, and Joseph was gone. Joseph was gone. So it is my belief that Dinah is the one who took care of Benjamin. And I believe Benjamin is the ancestor of these white Hispanics. And Dinah is Dinah. And so I say that, like, throw that in here to say that if it is Dinah who took care of Benjamin, and the Benjaminites are these white Hispanics, that tells me that Benjamin is getting ready to come into his power. And they are trying to prevent that by muddying the water between legal immigrants and illegal immigrants. Between, again, Joseph or Benjamin and Judah, as if they were the same. Between Benjamin and the rest of the brothers in general. So what I believe happened with Benjamin's history is this. He would have been told by Joseph, hey, these niggas is crazy. They tried to kill me because I had a dream, and you should never trust them. Matter of fact, when they start acting crazy, pack your stuff up and go. Don't question it. What would Dinah have told him? Now, mind you, these same 10 brothers literally killed an entire village because Dinah was trying to clean up their bloodline. What would Dinah have told Benjamin? These are some crazy ass niggas. When they get like their mindset on something, everyone's gonna die. So you need to take yourself and go in the opposite direction and don't get involved with them. So that's Dinah and that's Joseph telling Benjamin the same thing. And so that's what you see all over this planet. They would attack Benjamin. Benjamin would just pack up. He would get a dream that something is about to happen. He would pack up and he would leave. That's how I ended up in Florida. I had a very strong push to get out of Dodge because these Democrats is acting crazy. Maryland is under attack. I could feel it. And so I literally left. I didn't leave anything. I gave up everything, my claim, all of that stuff, and got out because I said my life is more valuable than whatever the hell these people are talking about. And I got out of Dodge. Now, the problem is these people have now corrupted everywhere. Everywhere is corrupt. There's no safe place we can go on this whole planet and be safe away from these maniacs. There's two groups. There's the groups that work with Abraham who are liars, and there's the groups that are the 12 tribes who are stupid and bloodthirsty. So either you're going to deal with the liars or the bloodthirsty ones. We're not doing that anymore. The Creator is going to restore our dowry to us intact. And our inheritance is this land. If our inheritance is this land, that means it has to be restored back to us intact so that we can move on. And that's what I am requesting the Creator does. Restore our dowry intact. Remove these people from our land who don't worship the same gods as us and won't follow our rules, our Constitution, and our laws and statutes and covenants. Remove these people from our land. Take them. They have to go. I don't care how you take them. I don't care how you take them. It don't matter to me because I don't care. Just get them out of here ASAP. And I do believe that's what the Creator is going to do. He's going to get them up out of here. But we, as I've been saying from the beginning, have to be respectful of our male counterparts. Again, I made a video, I shared it yesterday, talking about the Atum Ra reuniting with the God of Men and all this stuff. We have to work together with our male counterparts. In this day and time and season, our male counterparts are white Hispanic men. So this is no shade or nothing else to black men. It does not make me hate black men. I don't have any problem with black men who are willing to be in the proper energy. But the ones who refuse to be in the proper energy and to let the women do what needs to be done to make things work properly are the ones who cannot stay. They must go. They have to go. And I'm not taking any energy for them anymore. Never. We do have to put our protection over these white Hispanic men who are going to protect us. I've received some very strong assurances from several white Hispanic males that we will be protected, and I intend for them to enforce that. So we're going to have a dry run with our Operation Holly Jolly / Operation Daily Sacrifice, where we're gonna restore the daily sacrifice. I got to make the video. I got to put up the video for my talk on Friday, but I've received assurances that we're going to be protected. And so we're going to try it out, do a test run this holiday season, see how it goes. And if that's the case, we put our protection behind these white Hispanic males. That's it. But for sure, whether we put our protection behind the white Hispanic males or not, the protection is removed from black men, black American men, black foreign men. You got black skin. You're a worshiper of Abraham. You want to go to Abraham's bosom. Any of those people, they are officially removed. They are cut out. They are written out of the book of life, effective immediately. I'm not covering any of these people for any reason. Anybody in the 10 tribes, God bless you. I'm not covering you, okay? If you believe yourself to be a male in the Hebrew Israelite pantheon and Abraham is your ancestor, God bless you. I'm not covering you. You're not covered, okay? Not by me, not by my energy. I'm reserving my energy for the entities and individuals who are going to use their energy to protect me, not the ones who are going to use their energy to LARP in my energy, to pretend to be me, to literally steal my birthright and my inheritance, and literally to even steal my own children, pretending that you have given birth to them. We're done with that. And I don't feel bad about it. It's no bad feelings. It's no hard feelings. It's no nothing. It's just over. It is just over. And I don't know what to tell you. Please go find another group of women to protect you. Black women are no longer covering for these black men that are not protecting us. Protecting us like Atum, which is to let us go and do our thing and let us come back and get things done. If you have to control me in any way, if you have to balance me out in any way, that's not what I'm asking for. What I'm asking for is someone who is totally whole in their own energy. I am completely whole in my energy. What I expect from black men is for them to also be completely whole in their energy. Until they are completely whole in their energy and they simply want us around them. They desire to have black women around because we are who we are. Until that day comes, we have removed our energy. God bless you. And that's all I can say. Not even Lord have mercy. God bless you. Whatever God that is that you work with, may he bless you. We are removing our energy from these people. And as of now, I am putting my energy behind white Hispanic males. I will tolerate no attacks on them. I will tolerate no bad talking about them. These white conservatives and whoever need to get the white Hispanics' names out their mouth. I don't want to hear it. I don't care. Now, illegal aliens are not white Hispanics. They're race traders. So they actually have a different group that they're in. So I will not accept any LARPing in the energy of the white Hispanics either. All these white people, Americans, believe that they're white, but white Hispanics are not as American as they are. No, we're done with that. A white Hispanic is a person who comes from this is how you know a white Hispanic. A white Hispanic is a person who has an extreme reverence and connection with the land. That is a white Hispanic. They happen to have white skin. but they have the extreme connection with the land. The land responds to them. So I am putting my energy behind all white Hispanics who the land responds to them. That's it. If the land don't respond to you, you don't have my protection. If the land responds to you, you have my protection. And it's a blanket protection. It's the ones who know and the ones who don't know. I just feel like as of right now, I'm going all in on this message. I'm going all in on my little brother Benjamin. F the rest of these people. They didn't care about me. What I wanted as Dinah, they didn't ask me, hey, did you want to be with this guy? Do you love him? No. They just said, no, our sister is too good for this. Kill them all. So, do you, boo? I'm not involved in your energy. I don't care. I speak for Dinah. We're closing this curse. This curse is done, okay? We're no longer responsible for you. All these 10 tribes, 11, well, really the 10 tribes, all these 10 tribes, we're not responsible for you. All of these Abraham worshipers, we're not responsible for you. We are only protecting Benjamin, which is the white Hispanics, and Benjamin's legacy and Benjamin's people. Everybody else, good luck, okay? May your God protect you. So that's all I have to say. Shalom, peace, and blessings, and we'll see you in the next video.